Welcome guys to another video. So in the last video we tried to work on the sign-in method, but I ran into some errors. So in this video I fix those errors and then test the application. The sign-in method, we have to change that to sign in, and then the edit text, change it to the custom edit text that I wrote. And so I am going to test the application now. I try to log in. Yeah, something went wrong, and that's because I'm not actually registered. So I'll hit the registration button now, and voila, I am registered successfully. So the application is working, but there's one more thing: the logout button. We have to create a method for that so the user can log out successfully. So I'll switch back to my XML file, and then set an on-click method in the XML. Yeah, there it is. So just hit Alt Enter if it doesn't work. So the first thing I'm going to do is to call firebase auth and initialize it. I'll initialize it in the onCreate method. And then call the get instance to initialize it. Now, in the onClick method of the button, I am just going to say mauth.signout. And then after signing out, we want to return the user back to the signing activity. So I'll use the intent to send the user back to the signing activity by calling intent and then intent, new intent, the context, and the activity I want to send the user to. Then I'll start the activity. So after that, test it, and then here I am already signed in. So I'll try to click the logout button now. Yes, it is working. So it sends it back to the sign-in activity. So I'll try again to log in with my current account, which is inhood@gmail.com, and the password as password. Then hit the login button, logging in, and I am logged in. So I'll try and hit the logout again, this time to see if it worked properly. So it worked. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. So let's head over to the next way of authenticating a user, which is Google Sign In. But I have already created this code beforehand, so I'll just walk you through them. The first is a request code, which is for Google sign-in method. And then the second is a tag for the activity that will be used for logging messages or errors. And they is followed by a Google Sign-in API client, which is definitely needed for this to work. And then the second method, which I just call the initializable signing, is a method that initializes all the variables and classes. And if you notice in here, I have a string called default web client. And once you call this string, it will automatically work because Firebase installs it by default. And that is just an ID to identify your application in Google Cloud. And then next is, or rather, this is the XML file for the Google sign in button, which I just call Google sign in. So once the user clicks on the button, you perform the action instead of calling the button and referencing it by using find by ID. So this is the method actually, and then that is a sign in request code above that I mentioned, which has a request code of 100. So that is the onActivity result code. The onActivity result method is for when the that is the onActivity result method, which gets invoked after the users finish interacting with Google sign in screen. And here we're just checking if the request code is according to the request code that we set above, which is the RC sign in. And then if it is, then we want to get the credentials from Google sign in, but you can also get other information from the user, like the user's email address, the user's public profile photo, and the name. But if you want to go deeper by collecting the user's personal data, it means you have to set up some things in a Google Cloud platform, because it doesn't work that way. So here, the next method says next activity, which sends the user to the account activity when the signing was successful. So at this point, I'll run the application and see if everything works correctly. Hopefully, it should. So I'm going to hit the Google sign in button to see if it works. There is it, authenticating. Yes, that is the user, and the user successfully signed in. I'll try to log out and see if everything works correctly. Yes, logging out, and then I'll try it again to sign in, authenticating, and there's the user ID. So everything is working correctly. And there's one more thing you have to do here. For the Google sign-in to work properly, you have to configure your SHA1 fingerprints in Android Studio. And this is very simple. You just go to the right hand panel and click on Gradle. Now when that panel opens up, you locate the your project and then click on the sign in. Oh, I didn't see that clearly. Just double click, and then Gradle will build and it will generate a fingerprint for you. So you take that and then go to your Firebase and open up the project settings. Scroll down, you'll see the place you're supposed to add the Firebase signing. So here is it. Locate project settings, and in the project settings, yeah, you scroll down. So I have already added mine. If you don't add this, Google signing is not going to work, and neither is phone number authentication. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video.